questions?
If they were to come back and do that next year, of course, it would be.
Well, we don't know because it's subject to oil prices and.
All right.
And yeah, it'd be considerably higher probably because they'd have to move all their equipment in again. And
Instead of doing it while they're here.
so we have a motion to approve the change order on the parking lot bid.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor say aye. Opposed the same. The motion carries.
I'll call Bryce when we're down here, probably tomorrow.
I see you walking by last.
They were ready to do the other part, so.
Oh, they were just waiting for them.
Yep.
Okay, item 12, the progress reports.
We got preliminary results back on our adequate yearly progress from the DE. There's some caveats that go with this. As a district, we met AYP in both reading and math. Middle school participation rate, we met in both reading and math. In reading, we did not make our rate and we did not make enough growth, so we were on delay for this past year. And now we go to Senate 2, which means school in need of assistance 2, and then in math we went to watch. The caveat that goes with this is that our scores were about 83% of our kids tested proficient, but in order to meet proficiency, 100% of your kids have to test proficient, or you have to have enough growth to offset that, and we didn't do that. 83% of the schools in the state did not make AYP in at least one or two areas this year. One of the issues that we're looking at also, and we are going to take care of that as soon as school gets started here, is that our reading curriculum in both our elementary and our middle school is about 13 years old and does not meet the Common Core. So we will be reviewing reading materials and ordering new reading materials for 16-17. We're going to give teachers the course of the year to look through that and review materials and see what best meets their needs. Well, that'll be up middle school and elementary. The high school met in both reading and math. We go on the watch list for reading and met the goals for math. And both elementaries, I believe, if I remember correctly, met participation rates in reading and math, but they both went on the watch list for reading, and the Allison Elementary made enough growth that they went off the watch list for math. So, the issue we're looking at is in reading, we don't have enough kids proficient according to the state and the day that we test. I don't know how much faith I put in that, but like I said before, 83% of the schools in the state did not make AYP this year, so I don't think it's a big thing we have to worry about. I think the biggest thing that we need to worry about is updating our curriculum. One of the things I've noticed in the past year is that much of our curriculum has not been replaced and renewed over the last probably 8 to 10 years. So we have some work that we need to do in getting that cycle through. There's no action on this right now. There'll be action on it when it becomes official.
Okay, move on to item 13, approve the SIAC.
Let's see, proposing School Improvement Advisory Committee members for this year. Trevor Wangsness, Jarrett Wunsch, Katie Junker, Anthony Fitzgerald, Todd Thompson, Kareem Thompson, Isaac Almoline, Leona Shima, Jamie Osterberg, Kevin Clipperton, Bettina Clark, Russ Cook, Terry Eichenberg, Robin Morton, Bart Brentman, Laura Stout, Robin Wunsch, Missy Lubin, Corey Lubin, Scott Bruns, Phil Pitzenberger, Kim Marshall, Sarah Hawker, John Wohlers, Mike Lammers, Christy Lammers, Lindsay Landers, Abby Ingalls, Kristen Fleshner, Jody Tanner, Scott Lurson, myself, Mr. Huff, Mrs. Wedeking, and Mrs. Holm.
We need a motion to approve the list of people for the SAC committee. favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion carries. Item 14, human resources, our resignations.
Okay. Resignations, we received resignations from Shelby Wilm, Kristen Anschutz, Lacey Debner, Jordan Vanderloop for high school assistant track, and Kirk Clark from junior high track and junior high basketball. And then Susie Jacobs did not return her contract, so we just need to terminate her contract as part of the resignations.
So we need a motion to approve these resignations. Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. So the motion carries. Give them our thanks.
Contracts, Jessica Rogers in the kitchen, Amanda Willitson as bus driver, Kurt Clark for head high school boys track, and Laura Schwickerath as another junior high volleyball coach.
Any questions about the contracts? We need a motion to approve.
Can I make a motion?
Second?
John was a little quicker.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, the same. The motion carries.
Volunteer coaches, we have Jamie Osterberger and Ross Hawker for high school volleyball, Bill Dolan, Adam Anthony, Joe Nelson, and Brad Rattler for football. And these are all pending that they have their coaching authorizations up to date, get their background checks done, and get their mandatory report.
Second? All in favor say aye. Opposed, the same. The motion carries.
Subs, we have Janice Whiteside and Adam Anthony.
Any questions? We need a motion for approval. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. So motion carries.
And then we just need to appoint Shelley as board treasurer.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
We do have a couple of applications right now. I think Amy and Dan are going to interview Wednesday. We have, I think, 5 applications for the elementary secretary position right now. I think 4 internal and 1 outside, or
That's approximate, yes.
something like that.
Yeah, people have expressed an interest, I'm
Yeah.
not sure they formally applied.
Right.
It hasn't been advertised outside.
So Amy and I will be working on that, and hopefully we can get that wrapped up. We are going to talk to someone about subbing to get us going, because it's going to be chaos down there.
Administrators reports.
I'm not sure it'll be chaos, I'll just.
You weren't there this morning to answer the phone either.
Yeah, that's true, I stepped up for an hour and you felt it, so. No, I like to think things are under control. It's nice to see the building coming together. This is the time of year you see teachers coming in, and many of them work all summer, some wait till August. It just depends on schedules and, you know, what their summer looks like and how they like to use their free time. So it's nice to see things coming around and boxes getting unpacked, and as rooms look better, the hallway looks more full of empty boxes, so that's a good sign. So things are coming along. There's a lot of finishing touches that happen this time of year. I know classroom teachers are drumming their fingers for class lists, but as one kid moves out and 2 move in and 1 moves out of this class, they get changed almost daily. So those were published to teachers today. As you know, the first day of school, we'll be doing parent-teacher conferences on the 24th. I should say the first day, that first calendar day. Heather has an online program set up for parents to do scheduling. That will be opened up tomorrow. It's a different program than we've used in the past. It appears to be much more user-friendly, easier to manipulate, and we're gonna give it a try this fall to see if it works. Preschool will not do the conferences on that day because they'll be doing home visits, as the state requires for the statewide volunteer preschool grant. The preschool playground's coming along. It's been exciting seeing concrete being poured and things getting staked up and ready to go. I had some email correspondence with Barry Dodd, who's a representative from All Inclusive Rec, and kind of as the project manager, so to speak, of that company. He's going to come look at the concrete later this week, and then they will move forward to install the playground next week. From the last playground I was part of putting in, I kind of forgot they installed the equipment first, and then they put the surfacing around it, so it will be all roped off, as it is now with the concrete, so that, and they'll put that in pretty promptly. So that should be ready to go for the first day. It's very exciting to see it take place. One of our curriculum pieces that is fairly current is our math series, and that was a program that Green had used prior to the consolidation, and then Allison adopted that in the last few years. They had the everyday math that we use, we've had really good results with, and they did have a series update this year where they realigned things better to the Common Core. They made it much more user-friendly for teachers and staff. And so they had a really good offer this year that if you upgraded this year, you got a lot of free things. A teacher kit that has the teacher's manuals in it, some of the answer keys, some of those things. Those are about $500 a piece. And so they offered it this year. If you upgraded this year, you could get those all free. So we took advantage of that. It ended up being cheaper than if we would have stayed with the old method. But those are trickling in. I wish they would come a little faster, but they are coming. So. And it's very similar to our old series, so the teachers do have the old stuff to fall back on should it come in kind of at the last minute, but that's exciting to have coming in. The Chromebooks that were ordered for 5th and 6th grade are in, and Heather's working on getting those all ready to be pushed out for the beginning of the school year, and it's going to be here before we know it. Summer always flies by with the blink of an eye, so I'm excited. I can't wait to start another school year. School is too quiet in the summer, and we miss the kids, so that's all I think I have for tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Whitaker.
You're welcome.
Just to add to what Amy said about Chromebooks, we're also doing iPads in 3rd and 4th grade one-to-one this year, and those are getting ready. They should be ready by the first school day. And Mr. Thompson has the MacBooks ready for one-to-one for 7th and 8th grade. So everything's looking good there with our plan. So we'll be one-to-one from grades 3 through 12 next year. The PTO has generously donated some money, and this is the PTO in Allison, and then the PTO in Green is also helping. So they have helped us to purchase a couple of online subscriptions to help us get going in the elementary with our technology integration, and so a big thank you to them. Travis Miller completed his 2 weeks of training for Project Lead the Way, which was a huge dedication of time on his part, and we're ready to go with that in 7th and 8th grades this year. A couple of trainings are lined up for the beginning of the year for our paraeducators and associates. Crisis prevention and intervention, which is required by Iowa Code, and nurtured heart approach training. Looking ahead, like you said, we'll be looking really closely at our reading curriculum. We're going to continue aligning our standards and benchmarks, working with the Iowa Core, and continue our work in technology. And one more thing, a committee has met a couple of times since January to work on writing the teacher leadership and compensation grant, and that has to be submitted in October, so we'll probably be bringing that to you at the next monthly board meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Holm. Mr. Huff?
Same thing, we've done a lot, the custodians, teachers have done a lot of work rearranging the rooms so we can become a junior, senior high for grades 7 through 12. We're excited about the opportunities for the students with the MacBooks. We've got plans for every teacher who is new to the building, whether they're not new to North Butler, to have a building buddy, so to speak, to help things like where copy machines are and how to do things. So, and then we have 2 new teachers to the district. One is Laura Schwicker-Rath. She'll be joining us as a special ed teacher, and the other is We're excited about participating in the Department of Ed Visiting Teachers from Spain program. Our teacher is Elena Montejo, and she just arrived to the United States last Monday, had 2.5 days training in Des Moines, orientation from the Department of Ed, and she and her husband and 14-year-old daughter have rented a house in Greene, and John and Esther Baker are serving as their host family and doing a great job of supporting them as they come with suitcases and they have to get ready to live in a house and get cell phones and transportation by car, and we've had people donating things, and so he's been John and Esther have been a super help. We're excited about, I think it's great for our kids and our community to have a teacher who's, she's got some 30 years experience teaching in Spain, teaching English in Spain. Here she'll be teaching Spanish, so we're excited about that. The building is coming together, as always. There's at all the buildings, at the high school you try to work around different, the lunchroom, the kids having lunch during the summer lunch program. That area and the area by the weight room is kind of the last area that needs to have the wax stripped and recorded. They've really done this year, they've gotten down to, I think, as much wax they could. It's really looking good in the areas. They've got all the academic areas. They'll get the rest of it this week here. Athletic practices started today. That's the first day that you can start football, volleyball, cross country. We're excited. It's always a fun time of year, an exciting time of year. Hopes are always high at this point. Some positive things are happening there. There's tremendous work being done to make the sports complex handicap accessible. I think it's going to be great for our elderly and handicapped patrons, that they'll have a really opportunity to enjoy the flavor of the events down there. I think that's, we're planning our orientation day. The first official day is on Monday the 24th is strictly an orientation for grades 7 through 9. We're planning that day, and we've got a kind of a shell outlined right now and some different learning opportunities for the students during that day to make them feel real comfortable when they're then joined by the other students. Another thing just to point out, we're probably bringing 6 or 7 more teachers into the building, this building from the middle school. Looking at our parking out there, we're probably going to have to take some of these ones that are on the gym side, the cafeteria side where the students currently park. We're going to have to take some of those spots for staff and visitors parking, so the staff and visitors have parking around the building. So.
Thank you, Mr. Hoff. Thank you.
Oh, also wanted, before I forget, this is the one thing I wanted to say, but I forgot. Really want to thank all the people that we had, parents, we had students, we had athletes, we had coaches come and help us move items. Mr. Bixby, probably the biggest help was having that big, huge, long semi-truck to load up and not have to worry about taking many, many trips. I think we were at 3 huge semi-loads of material, so that was very helpful to get everything moved over. And the janitors that on both ends coordinated that. It was really made it work a lot better. So thank you for your semi, I guess.
Thank you.
Like we mentioned a few times before, the work's begun at the concessions in the handicap accessible area. Really appreciate the way that Dan Schroeder and his guys have got after that and expedited that process. But the short timeline we have to get that in before the football season starts, it's coming up in a hurry. We're less than a month away from that, and they've done a really nice job of getting in there and getting all that started. Blacktop's supposed to go down in Allison this week. The cement pad support from the playground, as Amy said. Camera installation's in progress in Allison, and they're supposed to come up to the high school building this week. Dan stated Miss Montero arrived Thursday. I think that'll be a great learning experience for our kids. They're going to get a lot more culture and things than they've had opportunities for in the past. I've worked with the visiting teachers program before, and it was really successful where I was at Like we talked about, we'll be interviewing for the elementary secretary and the music positions here in the very near future. You know, I can't say enough about the work that our custodians and our other people have done this summer with all the extra work they've had, getting everything brought together back into 2 buildings. You know, Pat Williams done a great hire. We've expanded his job description and he's keeping up with everything, and I just can't say enough about all the stuff that he's picked up and that he's done for us. I think all our technology purchases have arrived, and like Heller said, that they're just about all ready to go. We talked about the reading curriculum, and Dan talked about the fall sports practices, so that's about all I got. I will talk to Mayor Christensen tomorrow about setting up a day for that special meeting, and we'll work on getting other things done so we can have it all at once and get that out of the way, and I'll contact the other bidders and make sure that they're aware of that meeting night too.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Can I have a motion to approve the administrators' reports?
Moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, the same? So motion carries. And we need a motion to adjourn.